Welcome back to Linked by Golf, where we uncover the stories behind the people who are linked by the game. I'm your host, Ross McGuire, and in this bite-sized episode, Alastair Forsyth takes us through his coaching journey, following a successful career in the DP World Tour. Let's go over to Ali.
I thought, what do I do? And there's obviously a lot of guys who maybe have played in tour for years and they'll maybe go into, management or work with manufacturers and people work with a tour and things like that. But one of the things that is the downside of playing on tour is the travelling. So I didn't want to be doing anything that was going to be still going to send me all over the world. And so I thought I had a word with because I did used to do a lot of practice up at Mayor's Castle, and I had a word with the manager, and one of the coaches was just about to leave a month later. So he said there's potentially a spot coming up here, and so I just went. I thought, well, golf's all I know. Golf is my thing, So I've been a pro for probably about 18 years at that point, 17 years. 15 of that on tour, worked for a lot of great coaches, so I had learned a lot about the game and obviously seen how great coaches actually just how they coach. So I thought, right, let's give this a bash, and I enjoyed it right away, and it's a game that you're learning all, coaching, you're learning all the time. There's wee bits of picking up all the time, but that's been 10 years now, and it's been good. Mearns is brilliant because the facility is magic and it's a busy place. You can keep your diary pretty.
And the people must be, they're turning up, Ali, and I'm not being funny, but getting coached by someone who's actually won on tour. Do you feel like it makes a difference to them in terms of confidence, at least out the gate?
I think so, aye. It's funny because at the end of the day, just because someone's been a good player, that does not at all give you the right to think that you're a good coach. And there's plenty of good coaches that have never been at a good level as a player. But yeah, it's funny because a lot of people will say are quite new to the game and I've got no idea of what your golfing background is. And
of course, there's that element now as well, huh?
I mean, to a certain extent, it shouldn't matter because you're coaching them. You're not. I think where it does help and where people have kind of more of a benefit is your kind of really good players that will come along and not just seeking swing advice and things like that, because I've been in their shoes, played the courses, I've played the tournaments, I've got that experience of being a touring professional. So a lot of times it could be a sit down blather for 45 minutes and 50 minutes hitting balls.
Oh, that's great to hear. So I was wondering, you're having lessons like that where people are just quizzing you, effectively.
Yeah, that happens. More so with the really good players, maybe like you kind of top amateurs or the odd pro comes along to sort of chew the fat and pick my brains on.
How does that feel for you? I mean, you had the benefit of like Stevie Gallagher and Paul Laurie and those guys when you were younger yourself. What does it feel like being that guy they're coming to?
It's good, I suppose it's a wee bit more nerve-wracking when it's good players because you're kind of, you're not just trying to help maybe a guy get the ball in the air, Sometimes it goes from that to a Scottish international amateur or a pro or something, but that's all part of it. You have to adapt all the time, and that's kind of quite tricky because you can't speak in the same language if you like to someone that's new to the game or to someone that plays off +4. Because one person's right into golf and the other person's probably not. you're always having to adapt. But it's good. It's a good challenge, and you still get a buzz out of when you get a buzz obviously as a player. You get a buzz out of playing well and winning things and having good results. But then when you've got someone that you've been helping with a game, and if they have a good wee spell of results, you get a great buzz out of that as well. And of course you feel it when they're struggling as well. But
yeah,
a lot of times it's just trying to get into their mind and get them doing the right things on the golf course. So many times people say, I'm not playing very well, and they're trying to do something that's too difficult, or they're trying to work on too many things when they're going to play. That's been a massive part of trying to put over. I don't think a lot of amateur golfers don't realise just how straightforward successful pros when they're on the golf course, just how simple they keep it, and swing thoughts at an absolute minimum. And the amount of people that I talk to that are going out there and they're giving themselves almost no chance of playing well because they've got so much going on between the ears, so many swing thoughts. And the biggest thing I say to people is, you've got a second and a half between taking the club back and hitting the ball. How can you possibly do 3-4 things in that time? But yet they do. So many people do, and that's
I know.
That's something that's and you've always got to assess. Is someone going to go away and practice? If they're not, then the challenge there is, well, I need to help them here, but you can't go and have them going away doing something that's going to take a few weeks or a couple of months to integrate into swing. You have to just say, right, here's how you can stop slicing it out of bounds. It might be as simple as that. It can, it can be anything, but I always, but people go, still my favourite lesson I've ever given was a gentleman that played at, I can't remember what golf club he played at, one of the Glasgow kind of clubs, and he was about 85-year-old, and he just completely run out of strength. He couldn't get the ball in the air. He was missing just going to play golf with his pals.
Oh.
I not get the ball in the air. He says, I can still walk, but I've not got the strength. And his pals play 9 holes or 8 holes or something in the club, and this is and I just did a couple of these simple things. He says, look, you're not going to hit the ball far, you're not going to get it particularly high, but you can get it in the middle of the club face. I think it was 2 wee things in the swing, and the guy went away as high as a kite just because he could keep playing golf. Still to this day, in 10 years, is my favourite lesson. I didn't even see the guy probably for about 20 minutes. Just did a couple of these things, and he said, if you can do that, forget about these clubs, take your long irons away, but your three, you've got a hybrid, don't hit anything longer than a 7 iron, and then your hybrid, play your driver up like that, and then away, and he's still playing golf, and that's
awesome. What a story that is.
That was brilliant. I loved that. I loved it. Obviously it's great, and you see handicaps coming down and someone getting picked for a team or things like that. But we think, because at the end of the day, it's golfers. That's what we play the game for. Just to get involved.
The thing is, Ali, you've kept him playing golf, and it's really important for him at that age to have that opportunity with his friends to get out there and still be able to just be able to get the ball in the air. That's all he's looking for. Just to get in with his mates.
Yeah, different challenges, just all the different challenges that, should completely different people that come in, needing different types of things, so it certainly keeps you on your toes, because you've got to work out very quickly. You might only have half an hour with someone, or an hour, or good if you've got a block of lessons, so you can take your time with stuff, but you've got to work it right away, right? What do we need to do here? What's the best I can do for this person? It might be a wee older woman trying to get out of a bunker, can't get out of a bunker. Say, right, well, if you can do that, blah, blah, blah. They're not going to go next to the pin all the time, but it's coming out onto the green, and they go away happy as Larry. You get someone that's off 25 and wants to be home bunker shots 3 times around. As well.
Somebody trying to go on the tour that's complaining about the half-yard miss on a 200-yard 5 iron.
This is it.
I'll call it a 7 iron these days.
I would love to. a fiver on it though.
I know.
It's good fun though, I enjoy it.
If you enjoyed this story from Alastair Forsyth, please take a moment to share it with a friend and leave a review. It really helps more people discover the show. I'm Ross McGuire, thanks for listening.
Lomond Golf Tours have helped thousands of guests build bespoke golf trips to create a magical experience. Travel in style with our executive chauffeur travel, whether it's golf on a major championship venue or one of our hidden gems, 5-star accommodation or a boutique bed and breakfast, or is it whiskey tasting on a private boat? Lomond Golf Tours are here to help build the tour of a lifetime. Whether you're celebrating a special occasion or ticking it off your bucket list, embark on a trip that you'll remember forever. To learn more about our offerings for 2025 and beyond, visit www.lomondgolftours.com.